Hi there, and welcome to the Racing Dossier video where we look at how you can go about reading a race card. Now, I've just put together a sample race card here with 19 fields. I just chose the fields kind of a little bit at random just so that we can use this as an example. Okay, first of all, when you're on the main page where you have a list of all the races, you can sort by the headers on any tab on any page within the Racing Dossier software. So as you can see at the moment, we're sorting by race time, earliest to latest. We can reverse this. We can sort by the amount of runners, race type, distances, you name it, we can sort by it. So I'm going to sort back by race time here. Oh, and of course courses. I'm going to sort back by race time here, and I'm just going to open the first race with 10 runners using the race card sample. And when we open a race, we get all of the fields displayed like so. Now, at any time you can select another race card using this button here. Bring you up the choice of cards, choose your card, and it will reopen the race. You can widen your columns as much or as little as you like, and if you decide you want to change the layout of your columns will be dictated by how they're listed in your race card. Let me just show you that. If we go to race cards and edit the one we're using, you see this list here dictates the order of the ratings. If you want to change the permanent order, you can just click on a rating and move it to wherever you would like it to be, and that will reposition it permanently. If you just want to change it for a particular race, so you're looking at this race and you just want to move a couple of things around, then you can just click on a column and drag it to wherever you want. And you know that next time you open a race it will be back to normal. Now you can sort races by any column. Again, that's no problem at all. If you have more columns than will fit on the page, you can use the scroll bars, which aren't available here, to scroll left and right, and of course up and down if there are too many horses to see on one page. Now once we've got a race card open, we want to analyze the race. You may not have this many ratings displayed, there's probably a few too many for the card, but we can click on a horse, and when we're analyzing a race we may think, okay, I want to look at some of these rank ratings here to start with. I'm going to use these as my initial assessment, let's say. And I want to use the rank of the PFP points over the last 4 races. So I think, okay, here's my rank. And I'm not actually interested in any lower than rank 4. So I'm going to select them all by holding down the Shift key. And of course you can select just one, or you can select different horses by holding down the Control key or the Command key if you're on a Mac. But I'm just going to select these 4. Once they're selected, I'm going to right click and mark them as eliminations. Now you'll see that down the left hand column here, all of these horses now have a red square which indicates their eliminations, and we can sort by this column as well. So we've got these eliminations. Now it's important to point out here that in order to mark a horse as an elimination or a contender, you have to first select it by pressing the left mouse button, and then you can mark it by right clicking and choosing contender, elimination or clear. If you try and mark a horse that you haven't selected first, notice that I've selected Kodatish and I want to mark maybe Dumbarton Rock, and I right click and mark it as a contender, it's gonna mark Kodatish first because this is the horse that's actually been selected. So remember that you need to select your horse first, then right click and mark as an elimination or a contender. And if you want to clear your marking, you can just select it again, right click and press the clear button. So using this, we can very quickly narrow our fields down. As you can see, we sort by that, and I'm thinking, okay, now I actually want to look at the contender. So I'm just going to move the contender column here, and let's sort by contender. Okay, now straight away I can see that Dumbarton Rock's not a contender. It's got a lower contender rating than the others, so I'm going to mark that as an elimination. And we now have 3 runners left. Desert Sunrise, we notice straight away, is in the top here, so we may think, okay, we'll keep an eye on Desert Sunrise, and in order to do that, I want to have a look at the average speed over the last 30 days, and I'm just going to move that to the front because it's easier for me to see. Now let's sort by this. Okay, now 7 of clubs, we haven't got any speed rating in the last 30 days, so nothing to tell us there, but we noticed that Yvette and Sackheys Rose are near the top. So these are working for all of our ratings. So I'm going to mark them as contenders. And Desert Sunrise is at the top again, so I'm going to clear that horse as an elimination, but I'm not going to mark it as a contender. And now we've very quickly got a picture of this race. We can see that we've got 2 contenders, a couple of horses that we're unsure about, and then the rest are non-contenders. Now this is just one example of how you can use the different ratings to quickly analyze races within the software. Of course, you can export the data if you want to create odds lines or run other various rules against it. You can also create race cars that are specific to system rules. So you can very quickly mark your selections. Now once we've decided on the horses we want to bet on, we have 2 choices. We can either double click the horse to mark it as a selection, or we can press the Add to Selections button. Now we can mark 2 horses at the same time and add them as selections, as long as the bet type is going to be the same for both of them, and the odds range and stake sizes. Otherwise we need to add them individually. So we're going to add them both at the same time. We add to the selections, they're there, and we want to back them both. Stake size, you don't need to enter an odds range or stake size. The stake size will default to 10 pence, 0.1, and that's because if you're exporting to Grey Horsebot, by default it's going to be the minimum stake that the software can use when auto betting. So that's just a safety feature for anyone who may be using an automated betting software. If you're not, it doesn't matter. You can just mark it as blank, or if you want to, enter your stake size. When you've chosen all of the information, you just press the green arrow, and they're sent to the Selections tab. Now, to get to the Selections tab, we can either press this star here, and you'll see we get the little help box appear there. It says View Selections, and we press the star, and it takes us to the Selections tab. And I've already added a couple of other selections earlier from Dundalk. That's why they're there. And you can see that our stake size is 5. We didn't put in an odds range. Both the bets were back, and these are our selections. If we want to change the bet type, we can do that very simply here. Absolutely no problem. And the other way to get to the selections is if we're back on this screen, and you can see here that Racing Dossier remembers what you've done and which horses you've marked, so you can come back and have a look at that later. But we can just close this up here using the cross and go to the Selections tab there. We can also we've got our race card here, and we think actually we want to have a look at another race card. So we open it up in another race card, and you see we still keep our previous markings. So we can analyze the race in a variety of different ways, using a variety of different race cards if we want to. That is how you can put together your race cards, how you can use them for analysis, and we'll look at some more examples of how you can actually strategies and systems in another video. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.